Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Luana English Podcast. I'm Luana, and as always, I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Josimar. How are you doing today, Josimar?
I'm doing great, Luana. I've been looking forward to today's topic because it's something that affects almost every English learner once they start traveling or working internationally.
Exactly. Today, we're talking about cross-cultural communication, specifically the difference between high-context and low-context cultures.
It sounds a bit technical, doesn't it? But don't worry, it's actually all about how much we say with our words versus how much we say with our environment or our silence.
Stay tuned because understanding this will help you avoid some very awkward lost-in-translation moments. So, Josimar, let's start with a scenario. Imagine you're in a meeting with a business partner from Germany, and then later that day you have a meeting with someone from Japan. The vibe is going to be completely different, right?
Oh, absolutely. In a place like Germany or the US, what we call low-context cultures, people tend to be very direct. If they mean no, they say no. They value clarity and getting straight to the point.
I actually find that quite refreshing sometimes. You don't have to guess what they're thinking. But then you have high-context cultures, like in many Asian, Arab, or Latin American countries.
Right. In those cultures, the message isn't just in the words. It's in the body language, the relationship between the speakers, and even the vibe of the room. You have to read between the lines.
That's a great idiom, Josimar. To read between the lines means to understand the hidden meaning. I remember a friend told me that when he worked in Japan, a boss said, "That's a very interesting idea. We will think about it." My friend thought he was getting a promotion.
And let me guess, they never mentioned the idea again?
Exactly. In that context, "we will think about it" was a polite way of saying no.
That's the classic high-context trap for English learners. In English-speaking countries like the US, Canada, or Australia, communication is usually low-context. We put a lot of emphasis on the literal meaning of words. If a contract says X, it means X.
But for our listeners who come from high-context backgrounds like Brazil or Italy, sometimes English speakers can seem a bit, well, rude or blunt.
True. If someone says, "Your report is late, please send it by 5 p.m., a low-context person sees it as a simple fact. A high-context person might think, "Are they mad at me? Did I do something wrong?"
It's all about the buffer. In high-context cultures, we use a lot of small talk to build a relationship before getting to the business. In low-context cultures, time is money. Let's get it done. Okay, let's dive a bit deeper. Josimar, when we talk about being direct or indirect, what are some language tools we use to sound more low-context or high-context?
Great question. In English, we use hedging to soften the blow, which is a bridge between the two styles. Instead of saying that's wrong, we say, "I'm not sure if that's entirely accurate."
I love hedging. It makes you sound so much more professional. Let's look at modal verbs, too, using could, might, or would instead of must or will.
Exactly. If you're in a high-context setting, you might say, "It might be helpful if we looked at the data again." You're not telling them they're wrong, you're suggesting a different path.
Another cultural nuance is silence. This is a big one.
Yes, in some cultures, silence is a sign of respect or that someone is thinking deeply. But in low-context cultures, especially in the US, silence can feel very uncomfortable. People feel the need to fill the gap with filler words like or you know.
So if you're talking to a direct speaker and they stop talking, don't panic. They're probably just waiting for your direct answer.
Before we go, let's pick our 5 favorite words or phrases from today's chat. 1. To read between the lines, to understand a meaning that is not stated directly. For example, he didn't say he was angry, but reading between the lines, I could tell he was upset. 2. Blunt, very direct, sometimes to the point of being rude. For example, "I'll be blunt, we don't have the budget for this project." 3. Straight to the point, dealing with the most important part of a matter immediately. For example, "I don't have much time, so please get straight to the point." 4. Ambiguous, something that is unclear or has more than one meaning. For example, "The instructions were a bit ambiguous, so I wasn't sure what to do next." 5. Nuance, a very slight difference in meaning, feeling, or tone. For example, as you reach a B2 level, you start to understand the nuances of English humor.
Those are great words for our listeners to practice. Communication is more than just grammar. It's about understanding the people behind the words.
Well said, Luana. Thank you for joining me today. And to our listeners, your challenge for today is to think about your own culture. Is it high context or low context?
Try to use one of our vocabulary words in a sentence in the comments or in your journal. Practice these words today, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Luana English Podcast.